Welcome to the Costello Coaching Podcast, where we talk about developing the human within the athlete. My vision is to enhance people's performance in all aspects of their lives. I hope you enjoy.
And we're back with the Costello Coaching Podcast. I'm Tommy Costello with Andrew Rohrbach. I'm excited for this. Usually I am prepared. I understand the points of view that Andrew is going to share with me. But tonight I said, surprise me. I want a realistic point of view, meaning a natural conversation and understanding some of the components that he's learning right now in sports psychology and the medical professional points of view that he has been learning. And so tonight, what are we even talking about, Andrew?
Yeah. Hey, Tommy, good to see you again.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. So let's talk about...
Thanks, Johnny. Thanks, Johnny. You remember that? Did you listen to the San Diego State talk?
No, I didn't listen to it.
That came out where Tommy goes,
Yeah.
Johnny likes throwing spitters in the dirt. Thanks, Johnny. Make him look stupid.
Yeah, make him look stupid,
Oh,
Johnny.
the splitters thing?
Yeah.
You don't have
Oh,
a
yeah.
mic, though. No one's going to be able to hear that.
No. I think you kind of hear it.
All right.
We're good?
No.
We gotta start
over
again?
You can't, sign that much. You should have just, nodded your head.
Well, I thought you were completely wanted to redo after that one.
Oh, no.
You were signaling to me
No, thanks,
don't-
Johnny.
Yeah, don't talk to me or the podcast. Talk to you guys. I'm not Jamie over here with Mike.
Yeah, hey, Jamie.
Jamie, pull it up. Your phone.
Okay, shh. And we're back with the Costello Coaching Podcast. I'm Tommy Costello with Andrew Rohrbach. Tonight, I'm excited for because usually I'm completely prepared for these. Usually I know the topic that is coming, and tonight I don't. So, Andrew, what are we talking about tonight?
Yeah. Let's talk about this concept that I was just learning about. And I want to this is going to be an interesting one because it's more in consulting. This thought process is more in consulting. So when you're consulting with your patient or your client or whatever you want to say, you're an athlete, there's this concept called transference versus counter-transference. And it's pretty much as simple as this. When someone walks into your situation, when someone walks into your session, say you're going to do a sports psychology session with someone, this person's most likely, without knowing or maybe knowingly, going to transfer feelings of something that they're going through onto you. So, for example, it's just basically transferring feelings of emotions, and this, you can kind of get really technical with it. It could be something as simple as this person has a father issue, and he has a lot of anger and frustration towards his father. And therefore, when he's in a session with you, there is a likelihood that he might be projecting those feelings and thoughts and emotions onto you as a father figure.
But it's really directed towards the father.
Correct, yes.
Yeah, and not... Okay.
Right. So the concept is you have to kind of look at it as if you're going to meet with somebody new, they're most likely going to have some form of transference. And where's that transference coming from is for you, the consultant or professional or whatever you want to call yourself, to have awareness of what that is so that you don't do the opposite, which is counter-transference. Counter-transference is allowing those feelings, thoughts, and emotions to affect you. And from that point, then you start making assumptions. You start speaking from that point of view. Does that make sense to you?
I mean, that can happen in any relationship, though, which is you take someone's thoughts and feelings and they get projected onto you and you project something back onto them. As a friend, bro, you do a really good job of kind of separating yourself from projecting something back on me. So we have really honest conversations. There's very limited people in your life where you could have full transparency and full honesty. It's one of the biggest things that I love about you is I can just share with you exactly what I'm feeling in the moment. And you're not perfect and no one's perfect. And sometimes you send some stuff back at me and that's great. But 99% of the time, you'll take that information and know that, hey, this is not a cry for help, but this is me asking for some help. And you'll do a really good job of, I wouldn't want to call it putting up a wall, but it's almost like you're not going to, what is it called?
Counter-transference.
Counter-transference. You're not going to really transfer it back on me. So, I mean, just out of gratitude and appreciation. You do that really well.
Well, one, I appreciate that. I definitely don't think I do, and also I am perfect. So there's that concept.
Of course.
Yeah.
That beard is not perfect. Your hair is not perfect. So I will challenge you on that.
I have a couple of bald spots in the beard. But
yeah, it's a little
good.
patchy.
It's pretty good. No, but I appreciate you saying that. I also think the biggest thing with this whole concept is having awareness.
Yeah.
That is something that, man, if I'm being completely transparent and honest, that's something I thought I was good at back in the days when I was trying to help somebody through something. I was, hey, I got you. Yeah, I know exactly what you're going through. For sure, I got you. Let's go. Okay, so this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do here. And I was just sitting there going, of course I'm helping this person.
But you're really just projecting your own stuff on them.
I'm either taking information and taking their anger that I'm feeling, and I'm going, wow, I'm starting to feel this anger that they're having towards whatever their specific situation is. And then I'm sitting there getting fired up, and that's what they want. They want me to be fired up with them. Which is not always the case.
More so, you need to have a professional, objective lens at what you're doing, right?
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So staying in that neutral ground. A lot of coaches, a lot of positions of authority, a lot of leaders. The great ones have that ability to stay neutral. I like using the Derek Jeter example, where he was always so stoic, like grounds out, right? But never brought it into the dugout, never slammed the bat, never threw the helmet across maybe once or twice, but you know what I mean? He was always known for, if he got out, he looked the same as if he hit a home run. And that's not realistic for everyone. Everyone has different, ways of dealing with stuff, but that's someone I feel like you can rely on. So if you're in a position of authority, if you're in a position where you're coaching someone and helping someone, you got to be consistent, and if you can think of friends or people that you count on in your life, typically they're consistent. They're consistent in multiple aspects. They're not inconsistent in your life. And so I think working on consistency and checking in with your emotions and what you're projecting on others is a really good starting ground for making sure that you're not using counter-transference, right?
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. In your coaching or really in your relationships.
Yeah, and I also want to point out Derek Jeter was my favorite player growing up. I loved everything about him, and I loved him for every single reason that you just pointed out right there. Oh man, he's just very even-keeled. Seems to go about things, people always say, the right way.
Sure.
Right? But I think what really Derek Jeter had a really good job of, and this is just my personal opinion on it, is the stoicism that you were talking about, the even-keeledness that I was just referring to. That's not negating that the fact is that guy felt every single emotion that he was probably feeling.
Yeah.
Like he struck out. He probably didn't feel great. It wasn't like, hey, all good. I think that's a big misconception on this whole thing is when we feel our emotions, the ones that are successful are the ones that go, I don't feel those emotions.
Sure.
But that's not true.
Yeah,
they're the ones that they feel. Yeah, they feel them, but they have awareness and tools in their tool bag on what to do when they feel those emotions to help, like, I don't know, shrink down the reaction, because a big thing in psychology and with, Steven.
Oh, yeah. Like if you react more, that's the more painful thing.
Yeah. Well, there's a big concept that thoughts are just thoughts, but people take them as truth. So for example, like I have thoughts all day. Yeah. And if I acted on every single one of those or let those thoughts dictate what my behavior was, then I'm just a prisoner to my own thoughts. So this morning I woke up and I'm tired. I'm tired. I don't want to go to school today. I don't want to do this kind of thing.
Sure.
It's like, that's just a thought. It's not actually who I am. It's not actually my behavior. And so it's kind of just an interesting concept that people take their thoughts and feelings.
What'd you think about, because I know you listened to it, the speech at San Diego State. I say in that speech, the great ones, what I'm learning and understanding and what I'm observing, this is an opinion, this is a thought. The great ones didn't necessarily lack confidence, but they never showed you that they were lacking confidence. So the Jeter thing, right? I think he had a stretch where he was 0 for 23 in his career. But the way he walked up to the plate, what he had done in the past, his presence in the game, the pitcher was still like, man, I'm facing Derek Jeter right now. Even if he was 0 for 23. and he had a sore back and a bad knee and a bruised up shoulder, he was still Derek Jeter. You know, he had that presence. So it's just, it's an interesting thought to me. Is it's more so about like, who do you share your emotions with and who do you show them with? I think in like today's culture, in the psychology and the coaching space, there's more people pushing towards like, you got to show and tell how you feel and, you know, express that, and that's okay. And I agree with that, but I feel like you got to be really careful on who you do that with. I've been burned before in relationships where I felt like I was, you know, comfortable with people, and I've shared stuff because I thought that was the right thing to do, is like, oh, I'm feeling stuff, I should share it with them. That's where I've gotten burned. And so, you know, I think maintaining like the discipline of knowing who I can share my emotions with and who I can't is something that should be thought of in a conscious way.
Hey guys, hope you're enjoying the show. Only way this podcast grows is if it's shared. So please share it with your friends, family, or anyone you feel like it can help enhance their performance in their life. A little karma goes a long way. Let's get back to the show.
That's also a skill. I look at it as a skill. Like, because you talked about it. We tend to think when we've adapted this idea of, hey, I can share my emotions and my emotions and my thoughts and my feelings and all that's encompasses in that backpack, man, that's a huge asset to me. It is a huge asset to you because it's who you are. That's a huge portion of who you are. But are you going to give that backpack to every single person and trust them with it?
Yeah.
And that's a skill to learn who are those people.
Yeah. And a lot of people work off of like time frames. Like, I've known this person for X amount of years, or I've, you know, but I wonder, like, I wish there was a way to quantify like, who's a trusting person? Who do you trust in your life? It's all off intuition. It's all off gut, right?
It's a trial and error process.
Yeah.
You can't quantify it. It's a feeling. It's a feeling, and it's also you have to try it at some point.
Yeah.
I think most people are too afraid to try it ever.
Yeah.
People get stuck in I'm not going to even share my emotions or thoughts and feelings because I can't trust anybody. Well, then in my opinion, you're the one that's preventing yourself from experiencing.
So then those people just get stuck in a rut.
That's my thought on it. I think that people who are afraid to share their emotions are afraid to trust and feel safe.
Yeah.
And so you have to go through the process of, do you feel safe and
it's
with your
interesting.
emotions?
I had dinner with a friend. I met her in May on a trip in Kauai, and she said that in May when she met me, she said, like, just with all honesty, you seem like you had like a lot to prove. Like when I met you, like really eager, you know, you had a lot to prove. You're excited. You're excitable. Like it wasn't like a bad thing, but like you had a lot to prove, and I could just see it in your face. Like she's 37, so she's a little older than me, and she's done incredible things in her life, business and sports, and continuing what she's doing with psychology now. And so I hadn't seen her since May, and then we had dinner in November, and she goes, "Wow, like you seem a lot different. Like your pupils, you know, are different. Like your eyes have more white to them. Your face seems more relaxed, and you don't seem like you have anything to prove right now." And I was like, interesting, you know. And sometimes, like when you're a kid, you look in the mirror every day, you brush your teeth, you don't realize you're growing, but you know, mom charts it, you know, in the hallway, and you see, oh wow, 6 months ago I've grown 3 inches, right? Emotionally, psychologically, you know, it's hard to realize if we, you know, have grown or not. And that was an interesting perspective, because I do feel like I am a little bit more present. I feel like I have more to prove right now, but I have less to prove to myself. And I think I was going through a process where I felt like I had a lot to prove to myself. You know, I struggle with this component of like having my own validity, like understanding what I'm doing is valid and my work is good enough. And I always struggle with that concept of, am I doing enough? Like, am I doing enough? Am I performing to my capabilities? Am I living up to what I'm capable of? And, you know, as of maybe the last 3 or 4 months, I definitely feel like I'm kind of understanding no, like what I am doing is really good and it is really strong. And, if I have that belief pattern, I could actually be more present and help more people. And it was really cool. Anyways, I just wanted to share that she saw that, and that's someone who's really in tune on multiple levels. Right. And now she just said it straight up. And at first I kind of took it as like an ego hit. I was like, oh man, like, was I that bad? Like in May? And she was just like, no. Like I could just see it. Like I could identify with it, but you just seem way more like not even chill, but just more present and less to prove right now. I was like, oh, that's cool.
That's a huge compliment.
Thank you.
Yeah. Which I think is a testament to like going back on the Derek Jeter thing. He was 0 for 23.
Yeah.
And the concept that you asked me about the San Diego State thing I think the concept you used was fake it till you make it.
No, I never even said that because I don't love that because it has a lot of, there's a lot of baggage there. Like fake it till you make it. I feel like is guys who like, like lease a Ferrari. You know what I mean? Like they have $100,000 in their bank account and they're driving a $250,000 car. That's a fake it till you make it.
What was the
My
concept
thing was the concept was like, just be very specific in who you show your emotion with. And when you're on a competitive arena or the camera's on you, like don't let anybody know that you're lacking confidence.
Got it. Okay. So it wasn't fake it till you make it. It was
just like hide it.
Right.
But share it with those that you trust.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like you got to keep it together for the 3 hours you're on the field or the hour you're in the locker room. And then you go home and, you have that friend or you have that coach or you have that whoever that person is in your life. I call it the tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Then you share it with those people and you work it out and you got to work it out, right?
Yeah.
You got to work those things out.
Yeah.
But I think too many people kind of like will show that they're lacking confidence. It's not about not showing emotion. It's about showing that you're lacking confidence, that like uneasy look, that deer in the headlights, that, oh my God, like that kind of emotion.
Yeah. And everyone starts at the first step, right? So if the first step is that you struggle to really kind of get through an entire game without feeling a lot of things and then letting them affect you, that's fine as long as you don't bottle it up. And that's the big thing that you're talking about right now is a sense of communication. So find the people in your life that you feel like you can communicate your true and honest feelings with, and that'll allow you to kind of start this entire process. But the whole thing with Derek Jeter is, he went 0 for 23 and he wasn't shooken by it, but he's probably been through many stretches in his career, minor leagues, high school, all the way through. It's like you just got to keep going. And as you continue to keep going, you'll find ways to adapt and learn these skills as you go. An interesting thing that we talked about in class, actually, I think it was a couple weeks ago, was there's a girl in my class who, and I won't name her name and I won't name her uncle, but he was a famous basketball player. And there was a conference, it's a well-known conference in sports psychology in Orlando a couple weeks ago. And they had a famous soccer player be the keynote speaker. And they were asking her questions. She had to zoom in, and they were asking her questions of where did she learn mental toughness, and where did who did she go to for her sports psychology and her mental skills. And she continually, apparently, and this is just what I've heard from my professor, she continually said, "It was all me. I just kept doing it. I just worked harder. I just kept working harder, and I just kept working harder." And they were okay, but tell us a little bit more about, like, did you work with a sports psychologist at all? Nope. I just kind of I just put my nose down and I kept working harder. And I understand that concept, but I think that's half of the story. And the girl who's in my class raised her hand and said, I don't know if anyone knows this, this is kind of like a thing, but my uncle was so-and-so. Everyone goes, whoa. She goes, just so you know, he struggled with sports psychology, mental stuff his entire career, and he's regarded as one of the best NBA basketball players of all time. So this whole concept, this whole misconception that thoughts, feelings, and emotions are bad, or that you just got to work harder and your nose has got to be down and you got to just be tough, was completely not true. And yet we regard this guy as one of those who only put his head down and worked harder and was up at the gym at 3 a.m. Like, definitely one, that's an aspect of it. But there's a whole nother piece of the pie of we're human. And we got to go through our process that we got to go through and find, like you said, that tribe that you can trust with your thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and you'll learn skills along the way.
Yeah. Now, see, that person's a great, right? And the outsiders in the room, in your classroom, whoever that person is, never knew that that guy struggled with confidence, right?
Right.
But the tribe did.
Exactly.
And so it's important, like maybe that person isn't viewed as, or maybe other people think differently of that person, which affects their opportunities, affects their situation, affects their career. Like those, the emotions that you show can compound. Like a general manager can make a decision, a scout, a coach, a teammate, like different. Maybe if you're showing it, like your teammate doesn't pass you the ball and you don't get the chance for the game-winning shot, that's a career changer. If you're projecting all this lack of confidence. And so it's important. The first thing is you got to have, this is what I talk about. First thing you got to have is your tribe. You know that you can hold on to this for a little while and kind of sit with it and perform with it because you know you have that group that you can go work this out with. And so finding those people is really important, you know?
Agree.
And then to kind of wrap it up, that tribe doesn't partake in
Negative conversations.
Nope.
Dang it. I thought I had that, dude. That's your thing.
What's your term tonight?
Oh, negative conversations do not
No. What's your term tonight, bro? You said it.
counter-transference.
Yes, they don't participate in that.
Yeah. Yeah. And to not participate in counter-transference is a acquired skill as well, but it's having awareness of.
Yeah, so you could even just like say you're trying to create your tribe, right? Like, what if we had knowledge of this, right? Like if we had knowledge of this while we were playing and we're like, as silly as this sounds, or we could even do it right now as friends. Mm-hmm. Hey, like as I'm going to preface this conversation tonight, I'm struggling with this. Could you do your best to not participate in counter-transference? Can you please do your best? And like kind of establish that from the start because we both know that language. We both know what that means. And you could either say to me, no, like I'm not there right now. Like I can't do that. Or you could say to me, yeah, I'll try my best, Tommy. I'm working on it. I'm trying my best. I'll do my best to separate it.
Yeah. A good thing you could do is acknowledgement from both sides.
Yeah.
So
just kind of like establish it first.
So, hey, like I come to you, hey, Tommy, dude, I'm freaking out. I did terrible in my game yesterday. And honestly, I just need to vent.
Yeah.
Can you just not say anything and allow me to just be frustrated? Yes. And at some point, if I need your guidance, I'll ask for it.
You know, this is where parents really mess up.
Ooh.
It is.
How so?
Right there. And it's hard because the relationship is so tight between parents and their children that there is no room for that kind of professional statement, which is awkward. Hey, no one prefaces a conversation with the parent. The kid shouts out how he feels and the parent shouts out the fix. Mm-hmm. And the truth is, like, sometimes, like, as you get older, there becomes a little bit more respect. Maybe you're 30 years old and you want to call and talk things through with your mom. There's some respect there. You've been through 30 years of life. You have experience. You're smart. Hey, Mom, I want to call and talk about some things. That right there is the skill. Like maybe the kid doesn't have that kind of skill yet at 13 to say, hey, I want to just talk some things out. It becomes the parent's responsibility to be like, all right, let me make a decision real quick. Is this where I just let them kind of talk? Or is this where I coach them and teach them? Am I mom or dad, or am I just here to listen? And that is something interesting. Like usually parents who have been through sports, like professional sports, they're sometimes like, it's funny. Like I have 3 kids, their dads played in the big leagues and they're not technically the 3 best players. You know what those 3 guys are best at though? They just let their kids like play.
Listening.
And they just hear them. They're like, then maybe they'll go off to the side and be like, hey, not that good yet, but we just got to keep them with it. The parents who have no clue, who haven't played, who have no experience with it. Oh, he needs this. He needs a new bat. What do we need to do? And it's like, obviously you have no idea what you're talking about. So the people who have a little bit more experience, I think, will allow will allow that conversation to kind of happen. More so let them kind of vent and not give them any advice.
Yeah.
And let them kind of figure it out.
You also have to have, like, if you're going to be the person that's going to be the listener, you also have to be able to do a lot of inner work and understand, oh, okay, I felt a similar emotion that this person's feeling right now.
Yeah.
When I was in that situation, what did they really want to hear? Or did they not want to hear anything? Do they just want someone to listen and vent it out? Because biologically, we just need to get some stuff out.
Sure.
Anger needs to be expressed somehow.
Yeah.
So it's like, be a good listener. And if you're not in the space and you realize, hey, I've just had the worst day and I'm too open.
This isn't a good time.
Oh yeah, open communication. Hey, I understand you're going through a lot right now, but I just can't be there for you. And that's dependent on the relationship as well. So
Sure.
It's interesting, but
Yeah.
good concepts to talk about. Good concepts if you're a coach or if you're a parent.
Yeah.
or if you're
Hopefully
somebody.
they spark some good thoughts.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thanks.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to the show. I hope you benefited from this. Give the show a follow, share it, and comment what you'd like to hear more of so we can help more people perform in all aspects of their lives.